What's up, what's going on, legends? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the GROZA from Season 1 of the Battle Pass for Cold War / Warzone. And if you guys didn't unlock it during Season 1, I do have a video over on the channel on how to unlock both the MAC-10 and the GROZA here in Season 2. So go over there and check that out if you guys are still trying to do that. Alongside, obviously, talking to you guys today about the GROZA, which we're going to also compare to the FFAR, which we know is a very dominant weapon, just so we can get a comparison or an idea of just how good this weapon actually does perform here in Season 2. We are also going to jump into the best loadout or class setup so that you guys know exactly what to run if you guys do choose to run the GROZA here in Season 2. And you guys won't be disappointed. I think it's overall a pretty decent weapon to be running, but we're going to talk a lot more about that as this video goes on. But before we jump into the rest of the video, if you guys do enjoy this content anytime or find this video helpful in any way, make sure you guys show your support for the channel by going down below and smashing that like button. Go ahead and throw an easy goal of 30 likes on today's video, as well as if you guys would like to find your way back to the channel for more Call of Duty content, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button alongside that notification bell so we don't miss you in future videos. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Like I said, we're going to be comparing the FFAR to the GROZA just so we can get an idea of how good the GROZA is actually performing. I do want to start out by saying I do think the GROZA is a better assault rifle than the FFAR, because typically when you are running the best loaded or class setup or the FFAR, you are using it more like an SMG. So straight out the gate, let's just get it settled. I do think the GROZA performs much better as an assault rifle. But in order to compare these weapons, I do want to actually compare the best setups and how they kind of perform. So essentially, what we're going to be looking at first is our ADS time. So for our ADS time on the GROZA, we are getting a 3% faster ADS time with the best setup, that is. And so that's going to be a little bit faster ADS. We're going to be a little bit slower as far as movement speed is concerned, but only slower by about 2%. For reload time, you actually have a 16% faster reload time with the GROZA, putting it at 2.12 seconds, whereas the FFAR is at about 2.48. For the tactical sprint to fire time, you're going to be a little bit slower, about 30% slower to be exact with the GROZA. But again, I did say this would perform a lot more like an assault rifle than the FFAR, and you can kind of see that here. You're not going to be wanting to tactically sprint and then jump right into a firing state. Typically, when you're using an assault rifle, it's more of something you can rely on with an SMG, so I do think that that makes a lot more sense. You are going to be a little bit faster, about 25% faster actually with the GROZA with ADS movement. Now, bullet velocity is a little bit closer. It's going to be a little bit over 1,000 with the GROZA at 1083, where you're going to be at almost 1,300 with the FFAR. As long as you're about 1,000 or higher, you're going to be looking really good on bullet velocity. But I do think this is where obviously the FFAR is super insane up close. This feels like it almost has that hit scan, whereas the GROZA might not actually feel that way, but it does sit in a good place. You are going to be able to take people out a little bit better at range with the GROZA as opposed to the FFAR. For our sprint to fire time, definitely a little bit slower, again, about 30% with the GROZA. However, to be expected, considering the fact that the FFAR is performing more like an SMG, whereas this GROZA that we're talking about is going to be more typical AR. The range increase that is affected by both these class setups, for the FFAR, you're getting an increase of 43%, whereas with the GROZA, you're only getting an increase of 38%. So that's going to lead us to our damage values, which I'm going to talk to you guys about briefly. Obviously, if you hit headshots, you're going to be extremely dominant no matter what weapon you're using, and both of these weapons at their base value, or even after that damage modification with the attachments, you're going to be sitting at 6 shots to kill. But I want to focus a little bit more on the chest or stomach, or the body shots in general. For the chest with the FFAR, you're getting that up to 51 meters. You're going to be able to take them out 8 shots to the chest, 9 shots to the stomach. Whereas with the GROZA, you're a little bit shorter on your range at 42 meters, where it's going to be 7 shots to kill the chest and 9 shots to kill the stomach. So they match along on the stomach aspect. However, the GROZA can perform a little better on chest shots, but that is a little bit more limited. So then obviously after 42 meters, it's going to be 9 shots to the chest for the GROZA, and then it's going to be 11 shots to the stomach. For the FFAR, beyond 51 meters, you have 10 shots and 10 shots. So body shot's going to be 10. It's only going to be better with the GROZA if you're hitting chest or higher, but basically you're going to have a slower TTK in general at that second damage range. The only thing that obviously puts the GROZA a little bit ahead is I think it is a little bit easier to control that recoil, so you're going to be able to challenge people in those longer distance engagements. I think it's probably best to say the XM4 and the GROZA should be used in very similar aspects. I think you can expect to have a very good run with either of these weapons in those ranges. So it's not quite, as dominant in close quarters like the FFAR. However, I think in long-term aspects, I think the GROZA is probably going to be a little bit better for you as far as if you're choosing something in a little bit more distance. Across the board, though, I think the GROZA is going to be a very dominant weapon. It's just going to be a matter of more people catching on, and I think you guys will see more people using it. You can do a wide variety of weapons here in Season 2, and I think that the GROZA kind of can fit into that category. So now that we have an idea of how well the GROZA can perform, let's go ahead and jump into that loadout or class setup that we were talking about so that you guys know exactly how to go out there and dominate here in Season 2. Alrighty, so the attachments that we're looking at for our GROZA loadout here is for the muzzle, we have that GRU suppressor, increasing our sound suppression, of course. It's going to help us with vertical recoil control, bullet velocity, and effective damage range, which is important. All of these things are important to making this class setup dominate. So for the barrel, we have the 16.7-inch VDV reinforced, increasing also our effective damage range and our bullet velocity. For the stock, I like the KGB pad, increasing our ADS firing move speed, our aim walking movement speed, as well as our sprint to fire time. So although it's not the fastest sprint to fire time, we do our best to try to make it a little bit more improved. For the ammunition, you must run the Spetsnaz 60 round mag. Obviously, having the additional 10 ammunition alongside having a faster reload time against something like the FFAR, that's kind of a nice improvement. You're going to have 10 extra bullets and you're going to reload faster, so why not run the biggest magazine? So for the underbarrel, our last attachment, also we have our Spetsnaz speed grip, which is going to help us with vertical and horizontal recoil control. And this is going to allow us to be more accurate. It's going to allow us to make this weapon actually perform the way it is. If you're not hitting shots, it's not going to perform the way you need it to. It's just going to feel like it's not as good as I'm making it sound here today. Alrighty, so you guys have some details on the weapon. You know that it's going to perform well. I've kind of given you guys the inside scoop as far as best loadout or class up to be running. I think you guys will overall enjoy using GROZA. I think it's just a matter of people just not finding its value yet, and we will probably see more people using this in the future. I think it's overall a very decent weapon to be using. It's not overpowered. I don't know if it necessarily competes at the top of the meta, but I do think it's something that can be genuinely counted on and something very reliable. But that's going to wrap things up for us here. I'm going to leave you all to the rest of the gameplay. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed today's video or found something in it helpful. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all the support in the channel, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Peace. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Is he the same gun? I don't know what he has, actually. GG, teammate. That's actually a decent little squad. Hey, we're going for the tower. Here we go.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound. Only 4 enemies remain. Enemy dropping into the AO.
They're gonna have to push, so. Feels bad for them.
Got one.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.